Breakup betrayal trauma for singles and how not to do that again. That's our topic today. If you have yet to subscribe, you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have a question, put it in the box. Listen, dating can be very brutal, especially if you're meeting people online and all these, websites and stuff like that. You need to be really, really careful. And so if you've been through a breakup and they cheated on you, they lied to you, they presented something they weren't, etc., you might feel traumatized, hurt, abandoned, neglected, rejected, lied to, and all those feelings are real. I would encourage you, definitely deal with those issues. If you need professional help, call our office, 719-278-3708. We specialize in partner betrayal trauma. These are counselors who are certified in partner betrayal trauma, and you might need that. We even have a video called The Betrayed Man, if it's a woman that betrayed you. And also for the ladies, we have something called Finding Mr. Right, which will definitely help you. It's like a master's level course on dating men. It's 3 hours long, 200-page workbook. You will change the way you date. Let's talk about this in general. I want you to evaluate your relationships, how you get in relationships. Do they always initiate? Are you initiating? Are you finding them finding you? What's your path to connection? Also then, what is the criteria for someone to be in your life? Do you have any? Okay, do they need to be in a certain age, certain belief system, certain religion, certain level of fitness, finances? What are kind of the grid that you're looking at for people to come into your life? Because if it's just accidental, incidental, you're really going to attract anything. And you might get lucky and find someone who's faithful and caring and loving, but your chances are a lot less if you're not looking exactly for that type of person. Then once you identify what you're looking for, where do you look for that? Okay, and then you go searching in those types of communities. If you're not wanting someone who's spending 15, 20 hours a week online, get offline. Go meet people that are not online. There are singles opportunities. There's different ways of meeting people, both religiously, politically, by interest, by art, by music, all different kinds of clubs. It's countless how many clubs there are. And find people that have your interest, at least maybe one of your interests or your primary interest, and look in that circle. And then evaluate, what kind of questions do you really ask early on? Is it just entertainment? Are you just trying to find out if they like you? Are you trying to investigate to see if this is a quality type person? Even if you just date them for a while, they're not going to betray you and try to hurt and damage your soul. That they're going to be quality people. Well, what kind of questions do you want to ask? I find so many women are afraid to ask about pornography, and men as well, because pornography will scientifically change the way they view relationships. And so them hurting you will cost them very little emotionally, and it will cost you a lot more emotionally. Plus, they'll think less of you because of their own grid in which they value human beings. Do they have addictions? Look at their life: alcohol, drugs, sex, food, porn, work. If there's an addiction, this person is going to stay spiritually, emotionally, and morally immature. Those are the kind of people that are likely to hurt you because you have less value, because what has value to them is their addiction, the habit, what they lean on, where they go to. How do they respond to stress? Who do they go to? Who are their advisors? Who are their closest friends? You know the saying, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. Well, honestly, look at that. And if they're a loner, you should be aware that loners are more likely to hurt you. Because if they don't have attachments in other relationships, you're not going to be any different. Their lack of attachment might be there as well. Look at their family of origin. Not that someone can't outgrow their family of origin, but if there's issues there, have they dealt with them? You want to make sure that kind of the foundational questions you're asking have to do with kind of qualifying someone before you put your heart all in. You don't want to learn after. So you might want to create. And ladies, if you go through Finding Mr. Right, you go through a lot of stuff to be able to be really intelligent about how you date and what question to ask, how to go through this process. This is important. Now, for the last 40 years, think about where you were 40 years ago. I've been counseling people who've been betrayed. That's why I have trademarked partner betrayal trauma. That's why I have a 45-hour training on partner betrayal trauma. I've seen women be totally devastated, and men, by their spouses who cheat, lie, and are not anything they presented to them. I'm an expert in that process. And I hope I encourage you today not to go back into that, but look at your habits. Look at the way you give away your choices, your opinions, your sexuality. And are these in your best interest? Because if you're giving your sexuality before you evaluate, you're setting up a pattern of turning off your brain because your chemical attraction and attachment to them is superior to your evaluation. So these are just things to think about. I don't want you to get hurt again. And if you need help cleaning up the past, give my office a call, 719-278-370. We want you to be able to find someone that you can really trust, attach to, have great kids with, and be part of a love story. That's going to be up to you how you move forward. If you've not subscribed, please do. We got a lot of information out there. Also, put the button that says questions. If you got one of those, do that. And I want you to take your next best step